Darryl Brohman, born 22 June 1956, nicknamed the Big Marn, is a retired Australian former rugby league footballer and coach of the 1970s and 1980s, now best known as a commentator and media personality. Brohman played professional league for the Penrith Panthers and the Queensland Rugby League team. At present, he is working for 2GB on its continuous call team broadcasts on the Footy Show and makes guest appearances on the Australian version of the ESPN show Pardon the Interruption. In the summer, he plays a small role in the nationally syndicated radio program entitled Summer Weekend Detention, which broadcasts from the Sydney studios of 2GB on weekends during the summer months. Early life. Brohman attended Wavell High School in Wavell Heights, one of Brisbane's northern suburbs, and completed his senior year in 1973. Personal life. He has a partner, Beverly, and they have 2 children, daughters Lizzie and Ruby. Lizzie's partner is James Weir. Playing career. Brisbane. While still at high school, Brohman played first grade for Norths in the Brisbane competition and was developing into a skillful, ball-playing forward with a good kicking game. He was awarded the Norths Player of the Year in 1976 and won Brisbane's Rothmans Medal as the league's best and fairest player in the same year, joining John Brown, Steve Calder, Neville Draper and lookalike Daryl Duncan as winners of the award from the Norths club. Sydney. Brohman then moved to Sydney and played for the Penrith Panthers from 1979 to 1983, being the club's captain from 1982-83 and again from 1986 to 1987, and the Canterbury Bulldogs in 1984 and 1985. Brohman played 2 State of Origin matches for Queensland in 1983 and 1986. In his Queensland debut in the opening match of the 1983 State of Origin series at Lang Park in Brisbane, Brohman had his jaw broken by an elbow tackle from Les Boyd, which saw him sidelined for the rest of the season. At the time, Brohman had been tipped to make his Test debut in the series against New Zealand starting 3 days later and would have been the Panthers' first international had this eventuated. That honour later went to hooker Roy Simmons in 1986. Ironically, the player who came off the bench for Queensland to replace Brohman, Manly Warringah's Dave Brown, played well enough in the game to be selected in the front row for the Test against the Kiwis at Carlisle Park. Brohman later sued Boyd over the incident, and the matter was settled out of court. Brohman returned to the playing field for the 1984 NSWRL season with the Canterbury-Bankstown Bulldogs, where his skills as a talented ball-playing forward under the leadership of Steve Mortimer helped the club to their grand final win against the Parramatta Eels. His final match was for Penrith Panthers in the 1987 reserve grade final win over Manly Warringah at the Sydney Cricket Ground. 2 of Brohman's teammates in the Panthers reserve grade side that day included future Australian internationals Mark Jayer and Mark Carroll. Post-playing. After he retired from playing, Brohman took up coaching for 2 seasons. Firstly, he coached the Brisbane Broncos reserve grade side in 1988. Before returning to Canterbury in 1989 to coach the reserve grade team. In 2006, he was nominated as one of front rowers in the 40th anniversary Penrith Panthers Team of Legends, but lost out to Terry Geary, 8 seasons 1969-76, and Tim Sheens, 13 seasons 1970-82. Media. Brohman later had a career in the media, where he has worked for several radio stations across Sydney. Brohman's media career includes stints at 2KA, ABC Local Radio, 2UE, 2SM and once before at 2GB. He is currently a host on the 9 Network's The NRL Footy Show since 2010. He has been part of the menswear chain Lowe's advertising campaigns, which also feature other retired rugby league players. References. External links. Darryl Brohman on IMDb. Canterbury Bulldogs profile.